Hi. Today we are going to squeeze into an inspiring topic of a great queen of India. She displayed remarkable amount of bravery and boldness to fight against the formidable British rule, thus breaking the stereotype that women are physically weak and should always be dependent and subservient to men. She is the great Rani of Jhansi. Are you curious to know about the inspiring story of her? Then, let's dive in.
Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmibai was born in Banas, now known as Varanasi in the present state of Uttar Pradesh. Her father name is Morupin Tam and mother name is Bhagirathi. Her parents named her as Manikarnika after river Ganga. Her mother had told many stories from Indian epics such as Ramayanam and Mahabharata. She was happy when she was called as Manu. Unfortunately, her mother died when she was only 4 years old. Then she along with her father moved to Bittur. Her father worked for Baji Rao II, who was the Peshwa or the Prime Minister of his principality. Peshwa is the title given to a Maratha ruler. In Bittur, Manu quickly made friendship with the boys, Nana Sahib and Tansha Tope. Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Baji Rao. With them, she learned to ride horses and shoot with guns. She also went to school, but girls were not taught to read and write. She was called as Chabili the Sweet One by everyone including Baji Rao. Because of her charm and wit, Gangadhar Rao, King of Jhansi, married her after the death of his first wife without a child. When Gangadhar married Manikarnika, she was only a 15-year-old child. Manikarnika was given a new name, Lakshmibai, Rani of Jhansi. Now let's get into the palace of Rani of Jhansi. Here you are seeing the palace of Rani of Jhansi, where she was a resident in 1853 until her death in 1858. This great palace known as Rani Mahal, meaning the Queen's Palace, is a royal palace in the city of Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh, India. The palace was built by Raghunath II of the Nevalkar family, Subedar of Jhansi in 1769 to 1796. Wow! Is it not beautiful to hear the sound of a God's gift? Rani of Jhansi gave birth to a baby boy in the year 1851, and soon the entire principality of Jhansi was in cloud nine about the birth of a new prince. But the happiness was short-lived. Unfortunately, the baby died after 3 months and the people were shattered to hear the sad news. So, King Gangadhar Rao adopted his cousin's child Anand Rao, who was 5 years old, as his adopted son. On 19th November 1853, adoption ceremony was held and Anand Rao was renamed as Damodar Rao Gangadhar. The Raja was heartbroken about the death of his newborn son and became increasingly sad. His health deteriorated rapidly. As another shock to the people of Jhansi, Rao took his last breath on 22nd November 1853. Lord Dalhousie, who served as the Governor-General of India from 1848 to 1856, had introduced a tainted reform known as the Doctrine of Lapse. Under the doctrine, the British annexed any non-British state where there was a lack of proper male lineal heir. In 1853, he announced that he was annexing Jhansi as the British did not accept an adopted child as a legal heir to the throne as per his cunning doctrine of lapse.
The Revolt of 1857.
The British were able to annex many parts of India under doctrine of lapse. They also had a strong army mostly consisting of Indian soldiers, also known as sepoys. The British officers had asked the sepoys to grease the cartridges with the fat of pigs and cows so that bullets can be fired smoothly, disregarding the religious sentiments of the Indian sepoys. On a hot summer in the month of May 1857, the sepoys of Bengal army marched towards Meerut and attacked the British officers, and some of them were killed in the ensuing clashes. The news of the revolt spread quickly to all other parts of India, including Jhansi. Thus the Great Revolt of 1857, also known as First War of Independence, began.
The Queen's Fight.
Rani Lakshmibai decided to join the battle courageously to fight in the embattled region of Jhansi. The British appealed her to advise her soldiers to return quietly to their camps. But, in order to defend her kingdom, she recruited an army, strengthened the city's defences, and formed protective alliances with the Rajas of nearby Banpur and Shergarh. On 25th March, Major General Sir Hugh Rose and his forces arrived at Jhansi and besieged the city. Threatened with execution as a rebel if captured by the British, Lakshmibai resisted. In spite of a vigorous defense, by 30th March most of the Rani's guns had been disabled and the fort's walls breached. On 3rd April, the British broke into the city, took the palace, and stormed the fort. The night before the final British assault, Lakshmibai escaped from the fortress with her 10-year-old adopted son Damodar Rao and 4 companions. The next day, the Rani and her small retinue reached the fortress of Kalpi. Defeated again and again through May and into early June, Lakshmibai and the rebel forces retreated before the British. She also went to Gwalior to seek the support from Scindia of Gwalior. On 16th June, Rose's forces closed in. The Rani led the remnants of her army into battle. On the second day of fighting, she was shot from her horse and killed.
The Great Queen of India.
British newspapers denounced Lakshmibai as the Jezebel of India. But Rose compared his fallen adversary to Joan of Arc. Reporting her death to his commanding officer, he said, "The Rani was remarkable for her bravery, cleverness and perseverance. Her generosity to her subordinates was unbounded. These qualities, combined with her rank, rendered her the most dangerous of all the rebel leaders. Although she was a lady, she was the bravest and best military leader of the rebels. A man among the mutineers."
The end.
Please like, subscribe and press the bell icon to watch the latest content. Let's squeeze!